Good morning, neighbors. I've been getting a little bit of pushback about misleading the public or not being honest or whatever. And to those folks, you're kind of missing the point here. I'm just repeating what I've learned and know and worked with. So, yeah, it's simple. If you toss up one paper that says we have a solution, that one paper's been around for decades. Dreamers. So, nuclear waste. What happens after a nuclear accident? What happens after a nuclear plant refueling every 2 or 3 years? This stuff gets released. Now, I'm going to attach a video from CIRAD, which is out of Europe, and these folks have a darn good idea what they're doing. Now, if you're into Geiger counters, you're going to notice that they're using much better than Geiger counters. These are scintillation detectors, so they scream in counts per second instead of counts per minute. Doesn't make them wrong, makes them very sensitive to reading whatever isotopes it's capable of reading, right? So I speak to the alpha, the beta, and the gamma ratios that are out there because, as example, an alpha particle is 20 times more harmful than a beta particle in dosimetry. So if you've got beta and alpha, you need to know what those are to get true dosimetry. So this CIRAD outfit knows this, knows how to do the conversions. They know the challenges with this, but they're presenting the science consistently with the same measurements. So it has meaning. They know what they're doing. But in the survey work that they're doing, you'll also notice everyone else is lacking around them. This is big science to study this. This takes more than taking the meter out in the field. It takes taking samples, taking them back to the labs, finding out what they are, alpha, beta, gamma ratios, find out the harm. But on the other side of that, the industry doesn't have to do anything. What they're estimating from the releases is an extra 300 or 400 cancer cases per 100,000 people. They already have the answer that they need. That's all they're worried about. They'll make sure that the hospital beds are ready to hide these cancer patients if needs be. This is how the sciences are being misused. This is my argument, presenting pieces of the story that look great and aren't. This is a systemic risk to anyone in Japan, especially people that visit the areas that are contaminated, that live in the areas. So that's an interesting video to watch. If you put English subtitles, it's done in English as well, so you can understand the French if you don't. So this is a challenge. These types of surveys are what should be done. And basically, you either clean it up. Now, cleaning it up consists of getting a bucket, putting the dirt in a bucket, and moving it somewhere else. That's cleaning up. They'll put it in a big bag on the side of the road and call it topsoil in a little while when everyone forgets. So, now one of the solutions out there to all of this is transmutation. That was in a Disney movie too, wasn't it? Now, transmutation is an interesting idea that came about. The word, I think, derived centuries ago when we were trying to turn something into gold, lead into gold. That was the transmutation word back in the day. That was the Disney word, right? So that transmutation idea, people thinking that you can just destroy atoms so easily and turn them into something else. I'm not saying naive. I'm saying that there's a hell of a lot more to the sciences than that. You're basically going to be doing high energy neutron bombardment on everything in the area and hope it hits the particles you want. And now we're getting back into statistics. We're getting back into 300 atoms out of 100,000 might get modified. So how many years do you leave that stuff in there stewing? What type of materials can hold that? No, you're building another nuclear folly following these things. Most of it just exists on paper, and they keep pointing at it like, oh, we got it, we got it. So I appreciate the feedback that I'm not being straight with the audience. I'm being as straight as I know how to be. I'm giving you hints and clues. That's the best I can do. If you don't go find out and make this yours to be able to talk to and shut these jerks, not shut them up. The voices matter. If they come up with a good something, then good for them and us, maybe, eh? There you go. Wednesday morning rant. Thank you, folks.